Hi, happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I just got finished reading a book over the weekend, and I'd like to share my thoughts with you on this book. The book is The Selection by Kiera. There might be some spoilers, just a heads up. And so I really enjoyed this book. It is another young adult book, although I would say you probably don't want to read it unless you're 14 or older. So if you're getting this for your kids, just be aware there is some more mature material in here. This is, I think, positioned more towards teens reading it. So there is a little bit more mature material in here, but still really good. I really enjoyed it. So the main premise of this book is that there are going to be 35 girls vying for the heart of the prince. And a very apt review of the book compared this to The Hunger Games and The Bachelor without quite as much bloodshed. And I think that's a really good way to describe this book. The backstory is that they are now in a country called Ilia, which is America after it's been destroyed a couple times, and they've reset up a monarchy instead of a democracy. And the country is set up into 35 provinces. And anytime a prince comes of age, they hold what is called the selection. And that means that any girl between the ages of 16 and 20 in each province can put their name in to hopefully be selected as the one from their province to go and vie for the prince's heart. And the entire thing is televised, like Bachelor, and it's also kind of like the Hunger Games in that respect. And it's very interesting. They also in this country have a caste system. It starts out with the ones being the royalty and everybody in the royal family, and then you got twos, threes, all the way down to eights. And the main character, America Singer, is a 5, and she is part of the cast that are the artists and musicians. And one of the issues is that if you're a 5 or lower, you tend not to be able to eat as easily because you have to work a lot, but you don't get paid as much. And the caste system was set up because I guess back when Aaliyah was founded, whatever your financial position was, that's the financial position that your entire family's going to have. And so I guess her family, they weren't rich, but they weren't poor enough to be in one of the really low castes. So she, America, kind of very similar, again, very similar to Hunger Games. I'm probably going to compare this to Hunger Games. It reminded me a lot of that book in a lot of the different themes in it. It's not the Hunger Games, but it definitely reminds me of it. So America Singer has a secret boyfriend, and her secret boyfriend is a 6, so he's lower than her. And this can present a problem. You're not allowed to be seen with boys after the curfew, but she sees them all the time. And since he's a lower caste, if they were ever to get married, she would have to go down to his caste because it's a little bit of a sexist society. If you are a woman, you can marry up in caste, but you can't. And if you marry down, you're taking your husband's rank. So that is a big problem, and her boyfriend gets really frustrated because he doesn't want her to have to deal with not being able to eat as regularly and having to work super hard. So he gets really frustrated, and he basically says, you go ahead and sign up for the selection. I mean, you might not get picked anyway, but if you do, you might as well do it because anytime you get picked for the selection, your family gets paid. So for a family who doesn't get very regular income, I mean, this is an amazing opportunity. So she's really annoyed at him, and because he was getting prepared to marry her, but he just can't do it because he doesn't want her to be in his position, and you understand where he's coming from, but America's like, but I already told you I don't care, but it's this drama. And so lo and behold, she signs up, and hey, guess who gets picked for her province? This book would be much shorter if she weren't picked. Throughout the process, they're being filmed, and unlike The Bachelor, this doesn't have a set number of days. The prince can take as long as he wants or as little as he wants to choose his bride. And he can, pick out the girls for dates and get to know them better. And of course, you get the really catty girls and the girls who just want to be queen just because they want to be queen. They don't really care about the prince. And it's about getting to know the prince and America's interactions with him, which are really funny usually. And she starts to realize that she actually can get along with him pretty well, but she still in the back of her mind has her ex-boyfriend from back home in her mind, because their breakup was really, she didn't know why. She didn't understand why he broke up with her, and so she's still really confused and doesn't want to commit to trying to, fall in love with the prince. So you have a very interesting dynamic. And then near the end of the book, it turns out that her ex-boyfriend has been drafted into the military, and he is now a palace guard. So there are a lot of convenient happenstances, I suppose, in this book to get all the characters together. And from a standpoint of where all the themes are drawn from, I feel like just knowing that, you wouldn't necessarily like this book, saying, oh, it's super convenient. It's like, oh, they're totally ripping off The Hunger Games or like The Bachelor or other books, but you really don't care. You're reading it and you're just having a really good time. And that's what I found in this book, and I would definitely recommend giving it a read. It's a really fast read. I read this in about 4 hours, and it's awesome. You definitely get involved in it, and it's not just a romance book. There's a lot of political intrigue in it, more so in the second book. I have actually read these before, but I wanted to reread them so I could give you guys a review. And I'll be doing a review of the second book, which definitely gets more into the story. I recommend, I guess I wouldn't say necessarily buy both of them, because if you don't like it, obviously you don't have the second one, but I regretted not buying the second one immediately, because I started reading this going, I need the next one. The third one isn't out yet. It comes out in May, and I'll talk more about that when I do the review for the second book. So definitely check this one out. It's another young adult book that adults can definitely enjoy. Like I said, probably for kids, probably not younger than 14. There is a little bit of sexual material in here. Still really tame, but probably not for anybody younger than maybe in like 8th grade. Alright, well, I hope you found this helpful, and I will talk to you later. Bye!